classroom look like and how is it and how to implement that, then we are going to invite our speakers for today is Patrick and Ibu Nicole. Please welcome.
Thank you. Alright, I'll begin this session with a real talk. You might confuse now. You know, we have a lot of approaches already. We have inquiry-based, we have Reggio Emilia, we have differentiation or differentiated instructions. We are having or identity crisis already. Is that what you think now? No. Real talk. Yes or no? Yes. It's like, why a lot of approaches? What's really our vision? What's really our goal? Why we have so much of these things? What do you think is the answer? More options? What else? Thanks, Ibu Pam. Anyone? Real talk? Real talk.
Not one strategy applies to all factors.
Strategies, very good. Yes, Pa.
To accommodate our student learning level.
Okay, accommodate students' learning level. That's a really good answer also. Okay. Now that we learn a lot of approaches, why we have that? Because it's very crucial in a Cambridge curriculum. The Cambridge classroom here will be nothing without those approaches. So please do not dichotomize, meaning do not separate that this approach is different from Cambridge. No. What we are doing is exactly a Cambridge classroom. Now I'll ask you. Sorry. My aim for this workshop first, before I'm going to ask you, is that first, just to explore what a Cambridge classroom looks like. Second is to know the fundamentals or foundations of Cambridge. And lastly, we will give you toolkits, meaning these are practical exercises and approach that we could also reinforce from the different approaches that we learned today. So, we will ask, what do you think? What does Cambridge classroom look like? Now, 1 minute, I want you to think and pair and share. What do you think, or what does Cambridge classroom look like?
A class that have a Cambridge room. And then has a Cambridge logo.
20 seconds. 10. 5 seconds more. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Eyes here in front. Cheers. Okay. So just raise up hand. Okay. Would like to share. Based from your sharing, what do you think or what does Cambridge classroom look like? Just shout your answer. Just 1 word, 2 words, or 3 words. Afraid. Okay, let's start with 1. Group 1. Academic. Group 2. Student-centered. Interactive. Oh. Group 7. With centers. Nice. Group 6. Learning environment. 5. Collaboration. 4. Objective. 8. Resource. Sorry, Ibu Catrice. Apology for that. Yes. Enhanced resource. Enriched environment. Okay. 9. Visible learning. 10. Innovators. 13. Holistic. Okay. Yes. 12.
Active learning.
Active learning. Nice. And 11. Experiential. See? So I think we will not have our discussion now. You know already. Okay. I think the school did well on that because most of us somehow know already what a Cambridge classroom looks like. But to tell you more about this Cambridge classroom, okay, with Cambridge classroom would be useless without our learners. You failed to mention the students. Maybe you have active learning, but the learners you forgot. You only have the physical attributes or maybe your goal or idea of a Cambridge classroom, but you forgot the learners. Without the learners, we don't have Cambridge classroom. And so, for us to know our Cambridge learners, we have to understand what's our goal. I always tell this to my student, always begin and end in mind. What's the goal? And our goal as agent of learnings or educators are the following. We should have students who are confident, students or learners who are responsible, students who are reflective, students who are innovative, and lastly, engaged. These are the traits or attributes of learners. And these are the skills that the students should learn and master. And so if you think that your material do not lead to these attributes, then you have to think twice. Is my activity, is my lesson would give my students an opportunity to be reflective? No. Revise. Again, always begin and end in mind. I only have 4. These are foundations of Cambridge classroom. We've been talking about Cambridge. What's your curriculum? Oh, Mentari is a Cambridge curriculum. But do you know the foundations of Cambridge curriculum? And we only have 4. Only remember these 4. We have active learning. We have assessment for learning. We have metacognition. We have inclusion. Now, those terms are really difficult to understand. Don't worry, that's our job here with Ibu Nicole. We will try to make it down. We'll try to pull it down and be able to share with you in simple way. By the way, that's the role of a facilitator. Just to give you more, facilitator, for us to understand what does it mean, we have to know the nominal definition. Where is the word coming from? Facilitator comes from the Spanish word fácil. When you say, muy fácil, fácil means, in Spanish, to make it easy. If it's difficult, you say difícil. If it's easy, we say fácil. So our role as facilitators is to make the classroom, our instruction, easier for the students to learn. If they're having difficulty grasping our instruction, you're not a good facilitator. You are the facilitator, not a facilitator. So our goal here as facilitators to make the learning easy for the students to grasp, to apply on their lives. That's our role as facilitators. Now with that, we have one wonderful facilitator. So part of the Cambridge classroom, we have active learning, assessment for learning, metacognition, inclusion, and we will begin with active learning. Now, what is active learning? Okay, before Ibu Nicole will give you active learning basically is for the students to think hard, thinking hard, and be able to relate their new lesson to what they have learned already. That's why inquiry approach is very important. Your tuning in will determine your progress of your discussion. If you do not know the prior knowledge of your students, you are not targeting active learning. So teachers, let's apply inquiry cycle in our classroom. Because we are already targeting active learning. It's like what they know already and they try to build. It's like building a house. Oh, I learned this when I was in grade 1. Now I'm grade 2 already, so I add. And eventually I am able to create a building of new information. And it's also like putting puzzle together and create meaning out of what they learn. Last one before I give to Ibu Nicole. So which of these images show active learning? Ibu Pam, this is from Tenger class and this is also from Gorontalo class. Which one you think or which of these images show active learning? Right, this one? Raising their hands? Or this one? This one. Okay. Both. Some say both. Alright. We are now learning actively. You're thinking deeply. Okay. So, I would want to tell you misconceptions before Ibu Nicole would give you what is really active learning all about. Misconceptions, these are not so real or not so true about active learning. First, you're saying that active learning always means group work. That's a misconception. Another one, when you say active learning always involves talking. That's a misconception. Another one is when you say that active learning should involve students moving around. Have to move around all the time. That's a misconception. And also means that teacher's role is minimal. Like allow the students to do all your things and then you just sit down there and monitor, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. That's a misconception. Another one, if it's an extra thing to do. I tell you teachers, it's not something that overburden us because it's easy to facilitate, especially if we know this by heart. And we have resources and materials that we're going to share with you later on. Now with that, based on this misconception, Ibu Nicole will clarify what is active learning all about. Can we give Ibu Nicole a round of applause?
Alright, one more time. Those who will clap will become rich. Alright, that's tuning in how to make your kids love you. Okay, getting started with active learning. Before I dwell on that, there are two serious. Mine is the serious one, trust me. In the Philippines, we are known for 3 B's. What are those 3 B's in the Philippines that make us know? Beauty pageant, correct. What's the second one? Boxing. And lastly? Basketball. Yeah. I will add that as well. Beauty for the win. Okay. So we have basketball, boxing, and beauty pageant. But I think they should add one more B. Any guess? Aside from Mini. Apa lagi? Oh, Bobby. Could be. Maybe Pak Bobby, you can be, an asset for the Philippines. But I say, one more B that is very famous in the Philippines. Videoke. It's a Filipino way of saying videoke or karaoke. Okay? Videoke. All events. Birthdays. If someone died, funeral, there's also videoke. All events, there's videoke. And there are no rules in videoke whether you're a good singer or the opposite. Anyone can drop their playlist there. 1, 1, 2, 3, dito. Okay? But, in this classroom, usually you are like the singer. Why? You are the teacher, you are the singer in the videoke or in the karaoke, and your tune sometimes can be out of tune And it's repetitive. How many school days do we have? No, for the entire year. 100, thank you, Ibu pa, math teacher. Let's say 180. 180 days listening to that teacher? Same tune! This is your student right here. Can we zoom that in? That one? Now, can you give me names of those students who are like this when you're teaching? Sorry for the word, but usually they are decaf. You know what's decaf? They're like that all the time. They're just too polite to tell you that you are boring. Well, these students, they usually comment too. It's either they are bored or they know the topic too well. Now, how do we avoid this kind of picture in our classroom? Okay, that is one of the characteristics of active learning. So should we ask them to have jumping jacks for them to be active? Or ask them to dance? Or just like what, if you were listening to Papa Ash earlier, should we always do group works? Would that be considered as active learning? Well, it's not. Okay, I will show you actually different phases of active learning in class. Okay? And whenever you're doing that, it's what you call passive learning. The opposite of active learning is passive. Why passive? The information is being passed only one way, only one direction. Your teacher will be the karaoke singer, and they will receive the information. A verb is blah blah blah. A fraction is like this. Okay? Or herbivores are like this. You keep on hearing the same topic all over because usually the topics they meet it as early as grade 2. Let's say they met the topic also in grade 3. And you keep on repeating those topics. The kids now, they want a different taste of it. They want to hear a different tune. Okay? Not the same singer that they met from grade 4. I was their science teacher when they were grade 4. Maybe you're also their GP teacher when they were grade 3. So what's something new in order for us to avoid this one? Do these kids look happy in your classroom? No. And we have a recent incident in grade 6, just not new. They go to the bathroom to skip classes. Mind you, this is not the first time that it happened. This is not the first time that you can go to the toilet, and then when you go to the toilet in grade 6, you will see them curling their lashes there. Or putting up, retouching for LinkedIn. And last year, she asked us to go to the toilet. But when we reviewed the CCTV, the student was roaming around. Okay? So it only means that maybe your class is boring, or there's no new activities in your classroom. I already know that. It's the same thing that you used last year. It's the same thing that I heard from you 2 years ago. So, how do we avoid this? For the students to stay in your classroom rather than to skip our class. Okay, and I will give you a challenge. I will share to you one of my go-to songs. And the thing is, when I asked Igo Pratima last year, I asked her to observe me voluntarily. And I asked her, is tuning in on the first part only, or can it be part of making connection, sorting out? Well, the answer is yes. Your tuning in can also be part of all the phases of inquiry cycle. It's a cycle. Nothing could go wrong there. Okay, I will give you a challenge. This is one of my go-to songs. You know Marilag? It's a song from Dionella. And with this 4 lines, I want you to create a topic because I already used this one in my class. Relating to the subject you're teaching. English, math, science, GP or whatever, Bay Pepe, related to this. Okay? Hold on. Technical difficulties. Yeah. The song should play.
Already? Already has
Yeah.
the student already.
Just play. Yes.
That will with videos.
Yeah. Well done, guys. But again, your task is to just relate that song to a topic you are teaching in class. I already used it in my class before. And why is it considered active learning? Because it's something new.
Is there any
They are not just sitting and answering a worksheet or a workbook or listening to you, but they're going to listen, right? With this topic, they're going to listen with the contemporary music, which is not that related with science, right? Science can be related with math directly, but I included music, okay?
so music?
But I need music.
Every teacher is taking music teaching job.
One more time. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. Now, your topic will only revolve with those 4 lines. Okay? Your topic will revolve with those 4 lines. You can grab pieces of paper that that you had earlier and try to relate. Could be one of the terms, could be this whole verse right here, with any topic that you have in your grade level and with your subject matter. I'll give you, let's say, 5 minutes. Yeah. Guys, you should get the idea from these lyrics only. Okay? And then let's discuss later who is Marilag or what is Marilag. Ayan guys. PE, if you can give me a topic related to PE, I'll be very surprised. But again guys, science is not that related with music, but I use this during tuning in my lesson. Maybe later on you can say Marilag is
Like this type of us.
Okay, 2 more minutes. Ayan guys, think outside the box. Math. How is it going, math? Becky, Pepe, Jimmy.
We should make a topic from the lyrics only. Non-stop vertigo. It will happen after PE.
Okay, 1 more minute. I'll be asking maybe 1 for each subject.
One subject. There is no science. There is no science.
Actually, we can use this one for collaboration because I was able to touch math, English, and science together in this tuning in. Well, music could also be and GP as well. Imagine 4 lines from a song, 5 subjects. Hello guys, you have to collaborate. Okay. First, we have a volunteer from group 7. Okay, wait first.
Halo semuanya, untuk bahasa Indonesia yang kami tangkap bisa belajar mengenai rhyming word like a hot soap, teapot, right? Something like that. Because we are learning about puisi yang ada rimanya. Dan lalu ada metafor atau kiasan like heavenly body. Maybe for science. English.
English for grade 2, we are learning compound words. So there's hotshot, there's teapot, and also parts of the speech you can also tap that with the song. Science. And
Ibu Nicole, you should say I'm correct, yeah? Okay, for science, I think we are talking about here substances, mixtures, chemical reaction.
okay, from other groups, those who will avoid eye contact. Okay. Who else? This one is my favorite group. Okay, Miss Kat, actually she volunteered. She whispered earlier, call me later, I'm so prepared.
For grade 4, I would like to explain for the rest. For grade 4, yeah, I'll represent myself, okay? I have so many bosses here, okay? So for grade 4 math, we are having a lesson about 3D shapes. So the bottle of whiskey, the ice cubes, and the glass is cylinder, cuboid, and cube. And then drinking is a part of Becky culture, Pepe culture. Since we're using 3D, it can also be represented with Digitech. We can use 3D printing and others. While we are drinking, wait, I'm not yet done. Wait, I'm not yet done. Okay. Waterfalls. While we are drinking, I can relate to the English topic, which is figurative language. We can describe our state of mind as we are drinking, or our deepest emotions and sorrows. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, I think that's very well said. Okay, but you know, which part can we relate? The vertigo from teaching. Alright, music, Kakia, music. The last line, this could be your intro in your class.
Only music can define the mood of the so student can define their mood by music also, something kind of like that. So also like their mood can be defined by the music only.
Thank you. Actually, guys, it can be applicable with music. It could be from BE as well. So use this line, and for example, tell your students, I want you to share the music that will define you right now. See? She had the goosebump. Okay. What else? What subject? What subject? PE. PE, can you relate here? Except for the whiskey, yeah. PE?
Running non-stop, maybe we can go to marathon. And then music, maybe we can dance with the music, maybe senang. And then burning like club, maybe we can do it. What is that? Hard work, PE, maybe we do it. Push up, maybe jumping jack 100 times, maybe something like that. We can burn our muscle. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone who would like to volunteer for some more topics in your class? Okay, religion. Yeah, pa, religion. There's whiskey there. It can be related to religion. Harap yan.
Okay. We just replace whiskey with tea or milk, maybe. And focus with words bright, heavenly. We underline heaven, yeah, we underline heaven. We do goodness. We do goodness too. We do go to heaven. Okay. Not drinking. Thank you.
Alright, so maybe GP, we might have the overall idea of this. So it seems like somebody who's seeing this is having a conflict. So maybe we talk about diverse community. So they might think of how to resolve conflict when they gather something like that. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, teachers. Wow. We can still extend this one. I think your brain cells are still working. Okay, I used this one before because my topic is solar system. Which one? Cat 9b. Instead of telling them that the solar system is blah blah blah, these are the planets. Cat 9b is a planet, exoplanet, bigger than the sun. So why is not included in the solar system if it's bigger than the sun? Because it does not revolve around the sun, it revolves to another star. And at the end of that discussion, since I'm handling grade 6, you know what's the trend in grade 6? They have relationships already. The Marilag song is a love song to express too much affection or love to someone. That it actually saved Dionela from literally dying. So, after that discussion, I told them that love can make or break you, and by this time, they are not ready yet for relationships. Because you are below kakain. Right? Those who are skipping class are the ones included in the tutorial. Last year, same student. The below kakain students. Where do you get the guts to skip the class? Knowing that you are below kakain. But guys, you have to find a way how to capture the interest of your learners. When they hear the word, this is about love, yeah, they did not leave the classroom. Because they thought I was talking about love and relationship. I told them I will share a love song today. Did they leave the classroom? No. But it's about tricking them how to stay in the classroom. And again, this is not a group work. So that could be part of active learning already. Okay? So I will not discuss the most technicalities of active learning, but I want you to practice some parts of it. And I heard earlier from this group that active learning is student-centered. Yes, it should be centered to our student, not you singing all the time in the video. You should be giving the microphone to your students. Are you familiar with flipped classroom? Okay. In science and in math, actually, they've practiced this one. In science, we have science of 8. So if you want to rest first, we will give the mic to the students. Okay, tell us something about your science topic. In math, you also have math musketeers. Okay? So give the stage, give the microphone to the students. That is the best way to describe active learning. Learning is all about the student, not you. Yes, we know that you're the knowledgeable one. That's why you're called facilitator. You're there to only facilitate. If they have misconceptions, and that's not a rest time for you. That's also one way of assessment. Which one doesn't get the topic? This group again. So, you have to plan. Earlier, Papatrick and Ibutina mentioned planning is very important. Yes, because while you're still teaching, you should be coming up with another plan. If this student is not working well with this group, I need to transfer it on the other group. Or this student is not really talking, so next time I will make him or her the leader. So he or she doesn't have an excuse not to participate. Okay? You can just find this one actually in the internet. But the thing is, students should be at the center. And you know, active learning is based on constructivism. Who's the proponent of constructivism? Those who passed the board exam. So we have Lev Vygotsky, social constructivism. And just like what Papatrick showed you earlier, they already have knowledge. They just have to fit the pieces together. But the thing is, they shouldn't be building only the learning itself. But they should able to make meaning out of it. Just like the learning stations earlier, Ibu Ana mentioned, it's not about the content, it's about also the process. Yeah, I got you, Ibu Ana. Credits to you. Okay, it's not about the content, but the process. How did the student learn? You dictate it. So that's not even learning, it's note-taking. Because you're dictating learning. Okay, and here, active learning is giving the puzzles together. They should be able to build it and make meaning out of it. When I give, my topic is food chain. I don't want to tell them what is herbivore, carnivore, and blah, blah, blah. I told them, these are the pictures, group it in whatever category you like. That's it. I did not give any rule. This should be a herbivore, this should be... But you will be surprised, Papa Ibu, what are their knowledge already? What are their learning? And one misconception, they said active learning is time-consuming. No, it will save you actually. Only for me to review, because I already discover what they know. So I have to move on already. I already know what they know. I have to skip this part because they're too familiar with it. Okay? And according to Sir Lev Vygotsky, that learning is also through social interactions. Just let them do the building, and during the journey of their learning, you'll be able to guide them about misconceptions, about which is true, about the discussion or the topic. And here, guys, it will save you from talking the whole day. Let them do the discussion together. Okay? But social interactions are not only with their classmates, but it's also between the student and the teacher as well. The thing is, again, you don't want to hold the microphone the whole day. So, does it mean if it's individual work, it's no longer active learning? What do you think? Look at Azka. He volunteered to take the practical exam alone and he was very excited. Do you think this is no longer active learning? Because you said learning should focus mainly in social interaction. He was taking the exam alone, and these students right here, they are building the circuit alone. So is this still considered as active learning? Yes, because they are owning the learning itself, and they are part of the process itself. I didn't tell them put the wires together, clip it to the bomb. It's not like that. And I saw it also in grade 3. Just give you the circuit, and then you're on your own. We just give them precautions, what to do to avoid, for safety risks, but that's it. You're on your own there. You try to discover on your own. But the sad thing is, when you go to grade 6, they're already waiting for the people what to do. What to do here? What should we do here? That's the sad thing because in the previous level, previous grade, they're not used to it. So that's our challenge in grades. In the upper primary, they don't know how to think anymore. They just rely to the teachers. Because they were used to that practice that the teacher should dictate. And by the time we ask them to think on their own, we can't get any answers. Because they are from passive learning and traditional teaching. Well, I'm not saying that traditional teaching is that bad, but the thing is, we have to keep up with the students. These are iPad kids. Their attention span is very short. Just like you. You're always on your phone. Okay, please scan this code right here. This is one of the toolkits. You can save it, bookmark it. It's up to you. You can include me in the picture as well. Okay. In that active learning toolkit, all the different strategies are there. Okay, all the different active learning strategies are there. It's just that, look at lecture. Can we zoom that part? Look at the engagement. It's very low. Down, down, down. Engagement. Engagement is really low. Feedback is also very low because you have to wait for you to check the worksheets first before you get the feedback if they're learning or not. And look at the prep time. It's very high. You have to prepare your slides, you have to prepare all the activities. So this is a no-no, as much as possible. And you can also open this one. These are the toolkits. Everything is there, guys. Everything is there. It's grouped into categories, right? You don't have to prepare anything. Just visit this one. These are visible thinking routines. You can see what they're thinking of literally, if they do understand your topic or not. So again, it's categorized into this one, core strategies. And I use one learning kit there, which is red light and yellow light. This is a topic about puberty. What is a red flag in a relationship? Yellow, starting to become, bad, and then green light. Okay? You can also do this one as an assessment. Those who did not understand it, put your name on the red light. Those who have a good understanding about it, you put your name on the green light. Sky's the limit. It's really up to you how you're going to use it. Okay? And the benefits of active learning, of course, we have lifelong learners. Okay? They are not dependent to anyone. They need to learn how to, work on their own. Encourage success, especially for grades 5 and 6, they have Cambridge Checkpoint. And lastly, it makes it fun, engaging, and exciting because they don't know what's going to happen next. They did not dictate it at all. So, with that, this is the end of my presentation. Don't worry. Can we read this one and try to reflect? It's contradicting to what I'm saying, yes. But the thing here, teacher, is that how do you want to be remembered by your students? Are you the teacher that I'm going to skip classes because you're boring? Or you are the type of teacher that they will fetch to your room because they said you're about to be late even though you are still early for the next subject? And with that, teachers, I'm not expecting you to revolutionize and change already by next week, but somehow you need to try and keep up with the students. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Eunice. Wow. Eunice, I believe also she's trying that, we are far from perfect teacher. We are still in progress. That's why we have here PB today. it's also part of us to know things that we could improve, we could apply in the classroom. So don't worry. Earlier I was listening to Rico, I feel bad also because sometimes I have the tendency also to be more traditional, especially when we don't have enough time. And so I was like, oh, it's like I saw myself there, or I did not see myself there. And it's okay. You're not alone. We struggle together and we learn from each other. We have our SSTs, we have our admins. Just ask, and we are going to help and going also to learn from each other. So with that, from active learning, that's only one foundation of Cambridge Classroom. And see, we already tackled a lot of approaches. Inquiry-based, even in the Radio Emilia and everything. So everything that we've been sharing here, already some of them we've been doing already. We just have to acknowledge it. Alright, now next is assessment for learning. So this is the second foundation of Cambridge Classroom. So what is the difference between assessment for learning and assessment of learning? English teachers. Assessment of learning and assessment for learning. What's the diff? What's the difference? Okay, I'll give you time to think. 30 seconds. Okay, Ibu paham? Okay, we have a very good explanation already from Ibu Pam. Ibu, can you please share it again? Okay.
Okay, I don't know if it's correct, but assessment of learning, I think we are assessing what they learned already. But assessment for learning is we are assessing them for them to learn.
Thank you, Ibu Pam. In other terms, that's really good explanation. Here's the difference between the two. Assessment of learning is your summative. It's your exams. But assessment for learning is your formative. Now, Cambridge Classroom has formative AFL, assessment for learning. Meaning these things can be done while we're teaching. It's not towards the end. It can be, yes, as you are going to ask them what their assessment for the learning, but as we move on with our discussion and our inquiry cycle, we could apply assessment for learning. Now, this is the cycle which I'm going to explain to you with an activity. Very important in assessment for learning is feedback. You allow your students to give critique and feedback to their classmates' work. And sometimes also, you have to also patiently give feedback to your students. I remember my students because we are now in writing, autobiography, biography, news writing. It's very difficult for us if we cannot give feedback about their writing. So we have to be patiently writing there, oh, this is good, you need to improve on this, and they will appreciate it. And there were times that I did not write any feedback, and the students asked me, Pa, why I don't have green words here? So we're using green ball pen. They're very excited about feedback. And you also allow the students to give feedback. Not just you. It goes both ways. Now, another example of this is what we're doing already. Some of us are the assessment for learning. You can use the first toolkit, KWL. What they've known or what I know, what I want to know, what I learned. You're able to assess that already. Another one is this. Some of us are guilty about this. What are the possible issues with hands-up questioning? Like allow the students to hands up if you know the answer. What possible issues we might encounter? Like, do you know what's verb? raise your hand. And then students will raise, some of them won't. Now, what would be the possible issues if we do that inside the classroom, always raising your hands? Students become? Yes, Ops.
Not everyone will be given a chance to speak.
Very good. Only those who knew or are very confident would always raise their hands. And what would other students would feel? Left out, and then friendship again will be triggered. And then your teacher will, some of them will give remark, oh, you have favoritism, you always call the same person. That's a possible issue. And you have experienced that. Now there is one toolkit that Cambridge would recommend. This is, we call it pose, pause, pounce, and bounce. So that's why I have ball here. We named this Jambi Junior. So I mean Jambi and Dylan recommended, pa, we could name the ball Junior Jambi or Jambi Junior. So I do this in Jambi just to move away from hands. And so you as the facilitator will be able to see those students who are involved and not so involved with the discussion. So this is very simple. So I'll say, okay, first is, what is your favorite time of year and why? And then you start with pose. So that's question. Next is allow them to pause. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. What is your favorite time of year and why? Let's do this here. Okay, I'll give you time to think. Okay, now I'm going to pounce. Alright, now if Elsa will give us the answer, what is your favorite time of year? You hold the ball. Okay, birthday, July, very good. Now, Ibu Elsa, I want you to bounce the ball to anybody you like to share the ball with. Oops. That's for Ibu Mary Ann. Okay, now, Ibu Mary Ann, she said that her favorite time of the year is her birthday. How about you?
It's during holiday in June because I get to see my son.
Whoa! Very good. Now, Ibu Mary Ann, I want you to please bounce the ball to a classmate. There, Ibu Diana. Okay. Now, Ibu Mary Ann, what can you say about her answer?
It's nice. Because for Ibu Mary Ann, because I know that it's very challenging to be, to be separated from your music child. And I understand that it's going to be a very meaningful time for her because she gets to spend time with her only son. So I'm happy that she has that opportunity.
Wow, thank you, Ibu Diana. Now, Ibu Diana, I would like you to share that ball again to another person. Okay, we'll give her time. Okay. Alright, Pa Isko. Yeah. Okay, you know, Pa Isko, Ibu Diana mentioned about challenges. Now, how about you? Are there any challenges during holiday you encounter? Many challenges. Can you please give us one?
Give him one.
Your hometown. It's very far from your place. Alright, very good. Thank you, Pa. So can I have the ball? Thank you. Alright, so see, our conversation is not just only limited to your favorite time of the year, the person, but we're able to connect already. If Ibu Diana, what can her opinion about the answer of Ibu Mary Ann? So we will not just limit to only one question, but we're able already to connect with each other. So that's one way of implementing assessment for learning. Alright? And we can do this anytime of your classes. Discussion, not necessarily towards the end or beginning. Now, there are a lot toolkits that we will share with you. We will share it through the teacher and just give you the link. These are resources coming from Cambridge themselves. Okay? So these are other assessment for learning strategies. Sharing learning intention. So it's also very helpful that after the tuning in, it's finding out, you give already the intention. That after this cycle, this is our goal. So that our students know already the direction of your topic. And then you share also the criteria, students' response system, as simple as thumbs up. Students, if you know this topic, or down, do you agree, up? So that's an all-student response system. Diagnostic questions, we do that. Feedback that moves learning on, okay, and so on and so forth. These are examples of assessment for learning. Now we'll go to the next one, metacognition. So it's very like, maybe some of us only heard this word metacognition. Now, what do you think 3 words you think you have in mind if you hear the word metacognition?
Thinking about things.
Thinking, what else? Thinking beyond. Thinking process. Okay, very good. Because metacognition is thinking about thinking. Now, how do we imagine, or what is the picture of this thinking about thinking inside the classroom? We only have 3. Plan, monitor, and evaluate. And so that's why our discussion in class, not only one-way give. We also have to assess their learning and where are they already in our cycle. So for example, okay, so planning, monitoring, and evaluating. How do we do this? Okay, I'll give you a group task again. This is part of how we do metacognition. So I'll give you the template. Okay. Now each group will receive a template. So your group task is you are going to discuss. We are using the template. We are using a diamond 9. We call that diamond 9. Now we have 9 boxes. And you are going to discuss, okay, you are going to discuss here, one more please, and justify your rankings. 1 at the top is the most important resource. Okay, for example, our topic is science. And then 2 slightly less important, 3rd is in the middle, 2 less important, and the bottom part is the least important. Okay, now I'll give you 2 minutes to discuss how are you going to rank water, air, soil, coal, oil, sunlight, trees, minerals, animals. Go. Using the diamond 9.
I think the most important one is area. Because without air, we cannot breathe. We die.
One more minute.
Yeah, but how about life without air? We cannot live also, right?
Okay, now let's research.
Because so if we run out of breath, we can die faster than we run out of air.
You take a paper bag, you see it there, it's already alive. When you run out of air. So let's take a photo.
30 seconds. Alright, I've seen already some boxes filled already. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Opens up. Alright, thank you. Okay, let's just reserve the explanation with our presentation here. So just maybe one or two groups would like to share. Alright. Maybe let's hear from this group. They're very engaged with their discussion. As they plan the importance, level of importance, they've given already explanation. So maybe let's ask Ibu April to share with us how did you come up with your Diamond 9?
So from our group, we had a very thorough discussion. So we considered first, every time we put a particular answer in each box, we really have to discuss if we agree. I mean, all of us agree. And then if one disagrees, then we have to listen to her first before finalizing our answer. So we come up with these answers. So the one at the topmost is sunlight, followed by water and air. We all know that we can't live without these. And then animals, trees, and soil. Then the one at the bottom, last two, would be minerals and oil, because these are just, how do we say it? But it's like, we still need it, but it's not really as important as the others on top. And then the last is coal.
Thank you. Now, with this group, alright, I would want to hear this group. What can you say about their lineup of level of importance? Is it the same with yours?
It's different from our group, and I just realized also that, yeah, it's right that we put in the middle, they have trees, animals, and soil. They are the receiver of from sunlight, the main energy. We have water and air. It helps support life. So I just realized that, oh, we should put coal at the end because it's like the end of the, if we talk about ecosystem or the cycle.
Good, thank you. Now, teachers, what we're doing now is already thinking about thinking. They started already expressing the idea, the other group evaluating their work, and after they're evaluating their group, here, they plan, monitor, evaluate, and they progress. And then eventually, the class will come up with one already decision, and based also, you as a teacher, the level of importance of this substance. Yes?
I can't help that question because in our group we put air as number one because there are countries in different parts of the globe who don't have sunlight for 6 months.
See, we have another information. So we are able to monitor. We monitor their answer. Okay, what can you say about that, Ibu? So there's another information that Sichuan gathers that there is also a country that has 24 hours sunlight. Yeah. So now we are doing metacognition already. And we can do it in a fun way. So again, that's very important in Cambridge too. Right? Next, last one. Last one would be, I'll just skip because it's the same about metacognition. Another toolkit for metacognition is modeling. I know some of the teachers are doing this. For example, they have activity. So you start with yours. That's modeling. And also allow them to think that, oh, that's how my teacher does it. And so, you as a teacher, you would also try to evaluate and plan your work. Oh, I think I have to change this. Would you agree, class, that this one is blah, 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 and then you ask them. So that's also one way that they're thinking about your thinking. Okay? So that's metacognition. Now, last, again, toolkits for this will be shared with all of us. And then, graphic organizers, also example of metacognition. Flowchart, Venn diagram, and the Diamond 9 that we had. Alright. Next, inclusion. Inclusion, I will not tell this with you anymore. I will not give you information because we did this already with Ibu Elena and Pa Albert. Inclusion is all about differentiated instruction. So see, the one that we've been learning here is part of Cambridge Classroom. It's not totally different. It's just we only realize this because we only have to, put the puzzle together. So everything that we do here is not really far or different. And I hope that we will not get confused about this information. And we don't have identity crisis. What are we really following? Again, we are completely following Cambridge Classroom. With that, okay, so again, inclusive, that's why we have differentiated instruction and there are possible barriers. These are the things that we learned already with Pa Albert and Ibu Elena. And there are toolkits that we could follow that I'm going also to share with you in the group. So again, to summarize everything, this is what Cambridge Classroom looks like. Active learning, so that's Ibu Nicole shared here about the Think, Pair, Share, and other toolkits. Assessment for learning, KWL, no hands, and ball. Metacognition, modeling, graphic organizer, how you present your topic, and inclusion using our differentiated instruction. Now, to end this, I would like to pose this question for all of us. Now, I used to think, blah, blah, blah. Now, I think, blah, blah, blah. Now, no need for you to answer that now. I'll just give you enough more time this afternoon while eating your lunch. You go back to our sessions today and reflect and ponder. Before the session, I used to think that, and after the session, now I realize and I think that. Okay, hold on to that realization. We will share that later. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thanks for Patrick and Ibu Nicole for the last session. Yes, thank you, Patrick and Ibu Nicole. It's really refresh our mind to know where we are now and where to go next. And the more important thing is the Cambridge thing, so how to connect what we have learned today to make the successful Cambridge Classroom. Then for that, to show our appreciation to two speakers, we are going to invite Pawahyu to give the token appreciation together with Ibu Jade.
Our certificate of appreciation is proudly presented to Ms. Nicole and Mr. Patrick in recognition of your invaluable contribution as resource speakers in the workshop Transforming Education Through Inquiry-Based Approach on the 28th of February 2025. Your insights and expertise have enriched the learning experience, inspiring educators to embrace inquiry-driven methods to enhance student engagement and foster critical thinking. Thank you very much. It was a wonderful session, guys. Very fruitful, and I hope everybody will take the challenge to make some changes and improvement in the coming weeks. Okay. A round of applause for Ibu Nicole and Mr. Patrick.
Okay, thank you so much for the speakers. Thank you, Ibu Jade and Pawahyu. And then for the next one that we are going to have lunchtime. So it's supposed to be 11:45 since now we are quite late. So we move it starting 12.